Ready for a journey today? We're diving deep into the story of the Transfiguration, but through the lens of the Urantia book. It offers some, well, really intriguing perspectives on this pivotal event in Jesus' life.
Yeah, you're right. It's definitely not just a rehash of the biblical account. We're going way beyond those familiar interpretations, uncovering like deeper layers of meaning here.
I like that. And
Mhm.
speaking of going deeper, the Urantia book places the Transfiguration on Mount Hermon, and that location is significant for a few reasons. What's the story there? It doesn't seem to be one of Jesus's usual spots.
So Mount Hermon is actually where a young Jesus really grappled with the implications of the Lucifer rebellion. Imagine that even as a teenager, he's meditating on this cosmic upheaval, the fall of a celestial being. It adds a whole new dimension to his understanding of like good and evil, free will, and the stakes of his own mission.
Yeah, so this mountain is almost like a touchstone for him, a place where he kind of confronts the larger cosmic drama.
Absolutely.
And it's here that he chooses to reveal a glimpse of his true nature, but only to three disciples, Peter, James, and John. Why these three specifically?
You might assume, maybe they were the most spiritually attuned or something.
Right.
But the Urantia book suggests something else entirely. Jesus often sought solitude with these three.
Interesting.
They were his adventure buddies, always up for a hike and a deep conversation. It's as if he knew that, no matter what they witnessed, they'd approach it with, open hearts and a sense of adventure.
So it's not just about their spiritual readiness, it's about their bond with Jesus, their willingness to just be present with him in these moments of awe and mystery.
Yeah.
And this particular moment has a connection to something we touched on earlier, that detail about a younger Jesus having a profound experience kind of related to the Lucifer rebellion. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. The Urantia book describes how, as a boy, Jesus would have these vivid dreams about historical battles, particularly on a hill near his home. And these weren't just, random dreams. These were glimpses into the history of conflict and the struggle for power that has plagued our world. Now, on Mount Hermon, he's revisiting those themes, but on a cosmic scale, preparing for a different kind of battle one fought with, love and truth.
So we have this incredible buildup. The significance of Mount Hermon, the carefully chosen disciples, and Jesus revisiting these themes from his youth. It's like all roads are leading to this moment.
Right.
And then we get to the Transfiguration itself.
Yeah.
The Urantia book doesn't shy away from the kind of more mystical elements of this story, does it?
No, it really doesn't. It acknowledges the experience recorded in the Bible, the radiant light, the appearance of Moses and Elijah, but it offers a fascinating interpretation. What the disciples witness is really their human understanding of a spiritual event that's, far beyond their comprehension.
You're saying they're trying to fit this, immense cosmic event into their existing framework of reality.
Precisely. They see figures they interpret as Moses and Elijah, but the Urantia book clarifies that these are actually celestial beings of even higher orders. Gabriel, the divine messenger,
Okay.
and Father Melchizedek.
Okay, now to fully grasp this, can you tell us more about Father Melchizedek? His presence here seems especially significant.
Father Melchizedek is he's a fascinating figure. He's introduced earlier in the Urantia book as the one who established a monotheistic order of worship long before the time of Abraham. He represents the universal Father, the source of all creation.
Wow.
So his presence at the Transfiguration is this powerful symbol of, the divine acknowledging and supporting Jesus's mission.
So it's not just a, personal spiritual experience for Jesus. It's a cosmic validation of his purpose on earth.
Exactly. And this validation takes an even more, intriguing turn when a voice speaks from the cloud.
Right.
Now, we know things are getting serious when a voice blinks from the heavens, right?
Of course, yeah.
But here's the fascinating part. It doesn't declare, "Job well done, Jesus," or anything like that.
Yeah.
Instead, the voice says, "This is my beloved son, give heed to him." And this message is directed at both Jesus and the disciples.
Why do you think the Urantia book emphasizes that the message is for everyone present, not just Jesus?
It highlights that this event isn't just about, affirming Jesus's path. It's a message for anyone seeking to align themselves with divine will. The disciples, and by extension all of us, are being told to listen to this message of love, to choose a path of spiritual growth and service.
It's like this incredible cosmic event is also a very personal invitation to each of us.
Precisely.
It makes you wonder, how would our lives be different if we truly internalize that message.
Right.
This is my beloved son, give heed to him. What would it mean for us to give heed in our own lives, in our own unique circumstances?
Yeah.
It's a powerful question. But as we know, the disciples' journey, like ours, is rarely a straight line to enlightenment.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Coming down from this mountaintop experience, literally and figuratively, is, well, it's a shock to the system, wouldn't you say? It really is.
Yeah.
Coming down from a mountaintop, literally and figuratively, is, rarely easy. The Urantia book paints a kind of vivid picture of the disciples' struggle to, reconcile this profound spiritual experience with the realities waiting for them back in the valley.
It's like stepping out of a movie theater, back into the blinding sunlight.
Oh, yeah.
1 minute, they're enveloped in celestial light and divine pronouncements, and the next, bam, they're faced with, human suffering and their own limitations.
And let's not forget, Jesus drops some pretty heavy hints about his, impending suffering and death.
Right.
Not exactly the triumphant return they were expecting.
No, not at all. It's a stark reminder that following a spiritual path isn't, about seeking comfort or worldly glory.
Yeah.
Jesus is preparing them, however subtly, for a different kind of kingship, one rooted in service and sacrifice.
Which makes what happens next even more poignant. While Jesus, Peter, James, and John are on Mount Hermon, the other disciples encounter a situation that truly tests their faith.
Yeah. Imagine this, a desperate father pleads with them to heal his son, who's, possessed by a spirit that causes him to have seizures. And the disciples, perhaps emboldened by their recent experiences, attempt an exorcism. They fail.
Oh, wow.
Miserably. The Urantia book doesn't sugarcoat this. It really emphasizes their lack of, genuine faith, their focus on outward displays of power rather than true spiritual connection.
It's almost like heartbreaking. They've witnessed miracles. They felt the presence of the divine, yet they fall short when faced with real-world suffering.
It's a lesson I think, we can all relate to, can't we? How often do we proclaim our faith, our spiritual aspirations, only to falter when challenged to, put them into practice?
All the time, it feels like.
Yeah.
So Jesus returns, finds his disciples defeated, humiliated. How does he respond?
He heals the boy, of course, but it's not simply a display of power. He uses this moment to teach a profound lesson about the, nature of true faith. He scolds them, not for their lack of ability, but for their lack of, genuine belief.
He even goes as far as to say, let him disregard himself. It's a, powerful, even unsettling statement. What does that mean for us, in a world obsessed with, self-promotion and personal gain and all that?
It challenges us to, to examine our motivations. Are we seeking spiritual growth to feed our egos, to gain, recognition or power? Or are we willing to surrender our self-importance, to embrace humility and service as the true path to spiritual enlightenment?
It's a question that lingers long after the story ends, for sure. This deep dive into the Transfiguration through the lens of the Urantia book has been, enlightening. It's challenged us to look beyond familiar interpretations, to explore the deeper meaning embedded in this pivotal event. And I think that's what's so fascinating about the Urantia book's perspective on all of this.
It definitely, invites us to consider how we might give heed to the message of love and service embodied by Jesus in our own lives, in our own unique journeys. To remember that true spiritual growth often requires us to let go of our self-importance, to embrace a faith that is rooted in humility and compassion.
Beautifully said. A powerful reminder for us all as we navigate our own paths. Until next time, keep seeking, keep questioning, keep diving deeper.